Welcome, Kryptonians, to our exploration into the legendary superhero known as Superman. While he stands as an icon of strength, courage, and hope, even the Man of Steel is not without his vulnerabilities. In this video, we delve deep into the weaknesses that challenge Superman, revealing the kryptonite chinks in his seemingly impenetrable armor. Join us as we uncover the secrets of Superman's vulnerabilities, from the deadly effects of kryptonite to the insidious powers of magic. We'll explore how these weaknesses have tested the limits of Superman's strength and resolve, forcing him to confront not only physical threats but also the depths of his own humanity. Subscribe to the channel and like the video for more content like this. Take the opportunity to suggest the theme for the next video below in the comments. Kryptonite. Kryptonite is a radioactive mineral originating from Superman's home planet, Krypton. Its radiation has an adverse effect on Superman's Kryptonian physiology. The most common form of kryptonite is the green variety, which weakens Superman upon exposure. Prolonged contact or close proximity to green kryptonite can lead to severe physical debilitation, including loss of strength, vulnerability to injury, and even death if not treated promptly. Additionally, there are variations of kryptonite with different effects. Red kryptonite can cause unpredictable and temporary alterations in Superman's behavior or physiology, while gold kryptonite permanently strips him of his powers. Other variants, such as blue or white kryptonite, affect different species or aspects of Kryptonian biology. The effects of kryptonite exposure can vary depending on the amount and duration of exposure, as well as Superman's proximity to it. Due to its prevalence, particularly among villains seeking to exploit Superman's weakness, kryptonite poses a constant threat and requires Superman to remain vigilant and cautious in its presence. Despite his resilience and determination, Superman's vulnerability to kryptonite serves as a recurring challenge, testing his resourcefulness and resolve in overcoming obstacles that threaten not only his life but also the safety of those he protects. Magic. Despite his incredible resilience and powers, Superman is susceptible to magical forces. Unlike physical attacks or conventional weapons, magic operates on a different plane of existence, following its own rules and principles. As such, Superman lacks inherent resistance to magical effects, leaving him vulnerable to spells, enchantments, and mystical artifacts. Magic wielded by skilled practitioners can bypass Superman's invulnerability and directly affect him, causing harm or hindering his abilities. Whether it's through offensive spells, protective wards, or reality-altering incantations, magic presents a formidable challenge to Superman's traditional methods of defense. Additionally, the mystical nature of magic makes it difficult for Superman to predict or counter effectively. Unlike physical opponents whose actions can be anticipated and countered with his superhuman reflexes and strategic acumen, magic poses a more abstract and unpredictable threat. This unpredictability often forces Superman to rely on allies with expertise in magic or supernatural affairs to aid him in confronting magical adversaries. Superman's vulnerability to magic underscores the complexity of his role as a protector of Earth, as threats from the mystical realm pose unique challenges that require a diverse skill set and a willingness to confront the unknown. Despite his status as the Man of Steel, Superman must remain vigilant against magical foes who seek to exploit his weakness and test the limits of his abilities. Red Sun radiation. Superman's extraordinary powers, including his super strength, speed, flight, and heat vision, are all derived from the absorption of solar energy emitted by Earth's yellow sun. However, exposure to the radiation emitted by a red sun, such as the one that existed on his native planet Krypton, has the opposite effect. When Superman is exposed to red sun radiation, his Kryptonian physiology is deprived of the nourishing energy he typically absorbs from Earth's yellow sun. As a result, his superhuman abilities rapidly diminish, and he becomes susceptible to physical harm in a manner akin to an ordinary human being. Red sun radiation weakens Superman's muscles, diminishes his speed, and robs him of his ability to fly or project heat vision. This vulnerability effectively renders him powerless in the presence of such radiation, leaving him defenseless against threats that he would ordinarily handle with ease. Despite the rarity of encounters with red sun radiation on Earth, Superman remains cautious of its potential effects, recognizing the danger it poses to his well-being. Additionally, villains who are aware of Superman's vulnerability to red sun radiation may exploit this weakness by utilizing technologies or weapons that emit such radiation, posing a significant threat to the Man of Steel. Psionics. Despite his physical prowess and invulnerability, Superman is susceptible to attacks on a mental or psychic level. Psionics, the study and employment of psychic abilities, can directly affect Superman's mind, emotions, and consciousness. Telepathic assaults, mind control, and psychic manipulation are all tactics that adversaries with psionic powers can employ against Superman. Even though his mental fortitude is considerable, it is not impervious to skilled psychic attacks. Telepathy, in particular, poses a significant threat to Superman. Telepathic foes can invade his thoughts, probe his memories, or even implant false perceptions, potentially clouding his judgment or compromising his decision-making abilities. Furthermore, attacks on Superman's emotions can exploit his deep-seated sense of compassion and empathy. Manipulating his feelings of guilt, doubt, or sorrow can distract him or cause emotional turmoil, making it challenging for him to focus on the task at hand. Superman's vulnerability to psionics underscores the importance of mental resilience in addition to physical strength. It also highlights the need for him to remain vigilant against threats that target his psyche, necessitating allies with psychic abilities or advanced technology to shield his mind from intrusion. Despite these vulnerabilities, Superman's indomitable willpower and determination often enable him to overcome psychic assaults, demonstrating his resilience in the face of adversity and his unwavering commitment to protecting humanity from all forms of harm. High-frequency sound waves. While not as commonly exploited as some of his other weaknesses, Superman's enhanced senses make him susceptible to certain high-frequency sound waves. These sound waves, when emitted at sufficiently intense levels, can disrupt Superman's concentration and cause him considerable discomfort or pain. Superman possesses superhuman hearing, allowing him to detect sounds from great distances and frequencies beyond the range of normal human perception. However, this heightened auditory sensitivity also means that he is more susceptible to sounds at extreme frequencies, especially those in the ultrasonic range. Intense ultrasonic frequencies can overwhelm Superman's auditory receptors, causing disorientation, dizziness, and even debilitating pain. In extreme cases, prolonged exposure to such sound waves can incapacitate him temporarily, rendering him vulnerable to attack. While adversaries may not often exploit this weakness due to its specific nature and the difficulty in generating sound waves of sufficient intensity, it remains a potential vulnerability that Superman must be aware of. Certain sonic-based weapons or technologies designed to emit high-frequency sound waves could pose a threat if deployed strategically against him. Lead. Despite his extraordinary vision powers, Superman's X-ray vision cannot penetrate lead. This makes lead a significant weakness for him, as it serves as an effective barrier against his ability to see through objects and perceive what lies behind them. Lead's dense molecular structure effectively blocks Superman's X-ray vision, rendering him unable to see through any object composed of lead or lined with lead shielding. This limitation can impede his ability to gather information, locate hidden threats, or assess the extent of potential dangers in certain situations. As a result, adversaries aware of Superman's vulnerability to lead may employ lead-lined materials or structures to conceal their activities or protect themselves from his surveillance. Additionally, lead-based weaponry or defensive measures can be particularly effective against him, as they exploit this specific weakness to limit his ability to perceive and respond to threats. Sensory overload. Superman's superhuman senses, including enhanced hearing, vision, and olfaction, provide him with an unparalleled awareness of his surroundings. However, this heightened sensory perception also renders him susceptible to sensory overload when exposed to excessive stimuli or intense sensory input. Superman's enhanced senses allow him to perceive details and phenomena that escape the notice of ordinary humans. He can hear whispers from miles away, see with microscopic precision, and distinguish individual scents amidst a cacophony of odors. While these abilities grant him a significant advantage in many situations, they also leave him vulnerable to overwhelming sensory stimuli. In environments where sensory input is heightened or chaotic, such as densely populated urban areas or battlefields filled with explosions and gunfire, Superman may experience sensory overload. The barrage of sights, sounds, and smells can inundate his senses, causing disorientation, confusion, and even physical discomfort. Sensory overload can impair Superman's ability to focus, analyze information, or react swiftly to threats. In extreme cases, it may incapacitate him temporarily, leaving him vulnerable to attacks or unable to assist those in need. To mitigate the risks of sensory overload, Superman must learn to filter and prioritize sensory information, focusing on the most relevant cues while tuning out distractions. He may also utilize techniques such as meditation or mental discipline to maintain control over his senses and prevent them from becoming overwhelmed. Emotional vulnerability. Despite his immense physical strength and powers, Superman's deep sense of compassion and empathy can be exploited by adversaries who seek to manipulate or distract him through emotional means. Superman's unwavering commitment to justice and his desire to protect the innocent stem from his upbringing by the Kent family and his strong moral compass. However, these same qualities also make him susceptible to emotional manipulation, as villains may exploit his empathy or trigger feelings of guilt or doubt to undermine his resolve. Adversaries may employ various tactics to exploit Superman's emotional vulnerabilities, including threatening innocent lives, manipulating his personal relationships, or exploiting his sense of responsibility for past failures. By targeting his emotions, they seek to distract him from his duties as a superhero or cloud his judgment in critical situations. Superman's emotional vulnerability is particularly pronounced when it comes to protecting his loved ones, such as Lois Lane, Jimmy Olsen, or his adoptive parents, Jonathan and Martha Kentucky. Threats against those he cares about can provoke strong emotional responses that adversaries may use to their advantage. Despite his vulnerability to emotional manipulation, Superman's resilience and inner strength often enable him to overcome these challenges. With the support of his friends, allies, and his own indomitable willpower, he can confront his emotions, maintain his focus, and continue fighting for truth and justice. Yellow sun deprivation. Superman's superhuman abilities, including his strength, speed, flight, and heat vision, are fueled by the absorption of solar radiation emitted by Earth's yellow sun. Deprivation of exposure to sunlight gradually diminishes his powers, rendering him progressively weaker over time. Unlike Kryptonians living on their native planet Krypton, whose physiology is adapted to the energy of a red sun, Superman thrives under the nourishing influence of Earth's yellow sun. The yellow sun's radiation supercharges his cells, granting him extraordinary abilities far beyond those of ordinary humans. However, when deprived of direct exposure to sunlight, either through confinement in environments shielded from sunlight or prolonged periods spent away from Earth, Superman's powers begin to wane. His strength diminishes, his invulnerability decreases, and his speed and reflexes slow down. The effects of yellow sun deprivation can vary depending on the duration and extent of exposure to non-yellow sun radiation or absence of sunlight altogether. In extreme cases, such as imprisonment in environments with red sun radiation or prolonged space travel far from any star, Superman may lose his powers entirely, becoming as vulnerable as an ordinary human. To counteract the effects of yellow sun deprivation, Superman must prioritize maintaining regular exposure to sunlight whenever possible. Whether through spending time outdoors during daylight hours or utilizing advanced technology to simulate sunlight's effects, he seeks to replenish his energy reserves and sustain his superhuman abilities. Subscribe to the channel and like the video for more content like this. Take the opportunity to suggest the theme for the next video below in the comments. See you in the next video.